She talks. She listens. She cares. She's Joyce Oglesby. In today's ever-changing world, Joyce takes on the hottest issues. She fights for what's right in America.
I wanna leave a legacy. How will they remember me?
Just Ask Joyce is brought to you by Guaranteed Total Construction, Window World, Nan's and Crafts Florists, Squire Boone Caverns, and About Face Spa and Salon. Now, just ask Joyce.
And leave that kind of legacy.
And welcome to Just Ask Joyce. I'm Joyce Oglesby, your Family Life Fix-It Pro, getting you fit for life and love today God's way. Thank you so much for joining us. I have another special guest that I know that you're going to love because everybody that knows Millie loves Millie. And you will too by the time you have met her on the show. We're going to talk about veterans because many of us have a heart for veterans. We want to do something. Well, this is a time where we can, and we do, but Millie has put her love into action for our veterans, and you'll get to hear all about that and how you can participate in that. Then we have a special email about what do I do with those pictures from my last marriage? It's a very important question, and we'll address that on the show today. But without further ado, I want to welcome Millie Rogers to our show. Millie, thank you so much. I am so excited. You know, you and I go a long way back, sweetheart.
Love being here and love being with you, spending some time with you. It's been a while.
I know. Well, so, you know, lives get busy, don't they?
Yes,
it's just
they
crazy. Millie is, of course, a part of our church as well. And she has been, I can tell you, a hard worker in the church. And Webby and I, every church needs somebody with the hands that Millie has, serving hands. But this is one aspect, and you've done a lot of service, Millie, through the years. Now, Millie lives in Georgetown, Indiana, but she's done a lot of service, but this one probably tugs at my heartstrings more than anything you've ever done. I just love it because I'm such a patriot myself. I love honoring our troops, those serving and those having served, and even the ones who lost their lives and maybe have gone on to be with the Lord since then. But I can tell you, Millie honors not just them, but she honors the families of the veterans. And so we're going to introduce you today. Maybe some of you heard, if you've ever listened to me on radio, you've heard Millie and I talk about the labor of love, and it truly is a labor of love. But this is where you honor veterans, and I'm going to let you just kind of tell people a little bit about, you know, maybe what inspired you to do this and what it is. And we'll put some information up so you get a pen and paper because you do not want to miss how to make reservations for a couple of events, and one being the labor of love. And especially if you know someone that's a veteran or serving for our country, you do not want to miss it, and the family is included. So let's talk about that.
Well, first of all, my brother-in-law is a retired veteran of the Navy. He served for 30 years, and he's enlisted as a commanding officer, captain. And my brother, Jimmy, also served in the Navy. And I've always had a heart, especially for the Vietnam veterans. I have a friend, James Wolfe, and he was a Vietnam veteran. And he's told me many stories about them coming home from the war. And it's always important to have a listening ear for them because they were hurt so bad by what happened.
Yes.
And so we spoke out in the parking lot at church one day, and he was explaining to me about his flight home from Vietnam and how, you know, there were really bad things said to them. And I felt like I needed to do something to, you know, honor them. That they never had anyone honor them. They never had a parade for them coming home.
Yeah, we treated them differently.
Yeah, and so we did have a parade one year. Unfortunately, there weren't a lot of people who came. They didn't know about it. So I didn't want to do it again because I didn't want it to be hurtful to them that there weren't people there. But they enjoyed it. The parade was great, and every year, this would be my 10th year.
Yeah, this event is growing, and people are, the more they hear about it, the more involved they want to become.
Right.
but you actually do a dinner
Yes.
that, where you just serve the veterans and their families.
Right.
So, if you have served in the country in that capacity, or one of your loved ones has, and they don't have to be living.
No.
Maybe it was.
No, they can come and represent
Sure,
them.
absolutely. You come and you represent them, and bring mementos. You have a table that you allow them to bring their mementos and maybe stories, newspaper articles, or them pictured in their uniforms, and it's such a blessing. Of course, you get to take them home. You don't have to.
Yes.
But this event is free. Now, when we talk about free, we know that there's a cost for everything, but not to our veterans and their families.
Right.
So what we try to do, or what I think that your whole genre has been in this, is for those of us who have not served, who don't have family members, maybe even, or maybe they do, but those of us who really want to do something and we feel totally helpless in that.
Right.
And it's an opportunity for us to donate so that you can, because it's a white table, it's white linen, and it is a fine affair. Millie, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
It's great.
And I've had help, and it's the community donates. We do fundraisers so that it's free to them and their families, because their families sacrifice also. They have to move every 2 years a lot of times, and they don't get to be with their dads or their moms, and so they're the family. They sacrifice. So the event is for them and their families to come and attend. They have a speaker. They have door prizes. We have entertainment, great entertainment around our area. And then their free meal. And a lot of times the companies around Corydon or the areas, even Jeff, they donate the food, and sometimes we need a little more, so we do the fundraisers so that we can provide for them.
And we're going to tell you about the fundraiser in just a moment, but I pray that you saw the graphic that was up there. And again, make sure you grab your pen and your pencil, because there it is right there, a salute to our veterans and families. It's held at our church, Lincoln Hills Christian Church, and there's the address. There's the date. It's October the 13th this year. Starts at 5 o'clock. There's no charge, as I said, but reservations help. Anytime, because we feed a lot of people there. It's a big ta-da. And Kathy Watson, who's your right-hand gal in this whole thing, she's such a blessing. She really is. There's her number, and she will take your reservation. You just call and say, hey, I'm coming by myself, or I'm bringing my extended family. I'm bringing 20 people. You just call and give us a heads up, right? Again, not a charge, but a reservation is so much appreciated.
Right.
And you are going to have a fundraiser. Now, we're going to tease them. So I've got a couple of things for you to jot down, because now we can't wait until the last minute to do fundraisers, of course. So we're going to have a tea. I love teas.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I just love tea, and it's really getting into spring, and of course the flowers here from Nan's and Craft remind us of spring. Look at these beautiful, beautiful flowers from Nan's and Craft. I hope that if you ever need anything for someone that's special to you, or just a special occasion, that you will call Nan's and Craft and tell them just as Joyce sent you. But spring is coming, and I think spring is just a wonderful occasion for a beautiful tea. And so that's what you're going to do. Now, when is the tea that's going to be part of this, your fundraiser?
The tea is April the 21st, and we're going to have 2 settings. I could only do on the internet, but I put it as a description. It's under the Labor of Love fundraiser tea. And the tea is at 10 o'clock till 11:30, and then we'll break down and reset for 12 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, 12:30 till 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And
so we'll have 2 rounds. So if you miss the first one, you can come. And maybe your time will permit you one and not the other. So.
Well, we're trying to keep it intimate also. So it will be done with smaller tables. So only like 2 to 4 of them will be at a table.
Sure.
So that it's not huge, but that it'd be more intimate setting.
I like that. And here you go. The cost is $12, but listen, guys, any donation beyond that is so welcome, so appreciative. And I can tell you, having put on events in the past, I know that it can get costly, and of course food costs are up there sometimes. But Millie will do you a fantastic job. I'll promise you that. I've been at affairs that Millie has hosted, and she is an amazing hostess. It will be a delightful affair for you, and just bring 2 or 3 girlfriends or men. Guys,
Yes.
you can come. Teas are for you too. You can hold that little dainty cup. I can guarantee you. But it'll be wonderful. Make sure that you come. And again, we need reservations because it will be intimate and it'll be limited seating probably. So make sure that you jot that down. Now, I'm going to bring Millie back and we're going to talk about that just to refresh your memory a little bit. And maybe if you didn't get a chance to jot this down, you'll have a chance at the end of the show to do that as we wrap up with Millie. But we've got to address the email of what do I do with my ex's pictures, all right? Because that's an important question. We'll be back after this short break. Don't go away.
You're watching Just Ask Joyce, where real life and family values connect. Just Ask Joyce is brought to you by Guaranteed Total Construction, Window World, Nans and Crafts Florists, Squire Boone Caverns, and About Face Spa and Salon.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Joyce Oglesby here, your Family Life Fix-It Pro. I can't help you unless you write me, justaskjoyce@gmail.com, but I would love to help you with a family relationship problem. Like this one from Julie in Shepherdsville. She says, what do I do with the old pictures of my ex-husband? It seems a shame to destroy a beautiful wedding album. Some are with our kids and the 2 of us. My new husband has his ex's pictures sitting around the house. Doesn't make me feel very good, but if he is, then maybe I should too. What's your advice? Well, Julie, I'm gonna give you my fix, all right? And here it is. Keep some, burn some, and move on in the 1, 2, 3 formula for you. Why do you keep some? Because you said that you have kids involved, right? All right, so just because you have divorced your ex-husband doesn't mean that they divorced their dad. And so I would encourage you to take one picture of each of the children and frame it where dad is involved, not you and dad, now just dad, and put it in their room so that they can see it, because they need a reminder that dad is in the picture for them still, that they don't have to divorce him. It's difficult. Children always are the ones that catch the worst fall from things like divorce. And so I don't want you to absolutely, throw him out with the dishwater, all right? So you keep some for them. Now you will compile them. You can't frame them all right? But you get a box and you put some in there. And maybe even of the 2 of you, because later in life, maybe they want them, maybe they don't. They'll get the chance to throw those out when they're older and an appropriate age, and they can think through it better. But absolutely keep every picture that you have of him and them, and they'll have some memoirs when they're older to take with them, but they have one sitting out in the house. Don't put one in the living room where everybody else sees it. It's not necessary, okay? You tell your your present husband, the same goes for him, so he needs to listen to this too. Now, burn some. When I say burn some, I'm talking about have a bonfire, baby. You take those pictures and you and your husband, not with the kids, they don't need to see you burning up daddy, all right? But you need to take those pictures and y'all just need to have a bonfire. I know I've never seen an ugly bride, and I'm sure you haven't either, so I'm sure your pictures are beautiful, absolutely, but what are they? A thing of the past. And you have married someone else. The divorce might not have been your idea, but the new marriage is. And so make sure that you guys just have a bonfire and just burn them or throw them away, whatever it takes, but you don't keep those. They are no longer value in your marriage. And if you want this marriage to work, then you've got to get rid of the past. And that is why I say move on. Move on, because you want this marriage to work. You already have one failed marriage. Nobody wants to be a failure twice, and I know that. None of us want to be a failure ever, but sometimes things just don't work, and again, it might not be our doing. It might not have been your idea to get a divorce at all. But again, you have committed to a man for the lifetime now, all right, for the rest of your life. And so now you have new memories to make, you have new wedding pictures to put out, and that is what you do, and you move on so that this marriage will be something that honors God and honors all the kids involved and honors you as a new couple. Don't go away, we'll be right back, and I'll put some icing on this cake as well. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is the Just Ask Joy show if you're just tuning in, and you've missed an awful lot if you are just tuning in, so make sure you recatch the show when it's played again, or you go to my YouTube, Just Ask Joyce, and catch maybe some of the older shows and this one as well, because you know it's great advice always, and I always try to have things of interest for family. It's like today with Millie Rogers. We'll be revisiting her in just a moment, but I do want to just kind of wrap up the email from what do I do with those pictures of my ex-husband, and I thank Shelley for this graphic here. Shelley did a great job choosing this one. Look at this. Old memories never go away when they're invited back day by day. And that is so true. Put those things in your rearview mirror and don't look back. You have to move forward, and we never get rid of the past if we keep hanging on to it and we invite it back into our lives every day. So make sure that you create new memories with this new husband of yours and make it a fun time where because blending families is tough, guys. It just is. There are challenges, all kinds of challenges. Pictures that is just the beginning of the challenges of a blended family. So you make sure that you make some memories that every child from his side, your side, both of your sides, if you have children of your own, that every child will pull from their memory banks with fondness, all right? It's a new day, a new time to make new memories. We'll be back with Millie Rogers and the labor of love. If you're a veteran, grab your pen and paper, because we're going to tell you how you can participate in this, and if you're not a veteran, how you can participate in this, and we need you. Don't go away. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Millie Rogers has been our very special guest, and again, if you are a veteran or you have someone who has served in our armed forces in any way, any capacity, I don't care if it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Reserves, whatever, I want you to take this down. Labor of Love, this is the T fundraiser first that I'm giving you right here. But this is, if you don't have anyone, but you know, you are appreciative of what our troops have done, not just are doing now, but have done in the past, because we have freedoms because of these people. And you would like to come and support this in some way, or maybe you can't come to the tea, but you'd still like to donate. Will you take that, Millie?
Oh, please. Yes.
Yes, send your check. Call Kathy right there. She'll tell you how to send a check, or you know, we'll take your money. Yeah. Is our whole idea, because we are serving these men, and I say we because, you know, Millie, I try to be there. If I'm not out of town speaking, I am there with you, and we I love
every bit of it goes to proceed that.
Everything.
Every bit of it.
There is not, nobody is paid here.
No.
This is not something that, you know, Millie's gonna, you know, pocket. There's no leftover. If there is, it goes into next year.
An account for next year.
That's right. So this is the 10th year you've done it.
Right.
Well, so this will be the 10th or the 11th?
This will be the 10th.
Okay. All right. So the labor of love is to honor our veterans and their families, and that's serving people too, because they'll be veterans one day. But this honors our troops, past, present, and you know, well, we always want future troops, but you know, you come and serve these men and women who have served our country. Right. And again, the meal is always exquisite. It's a great meal. It's a white linen table service, and we serve them for a change.
Yes, and we're so thankful of our Boy Scouts coming too.
Yes.
Without the Boy Scouts, I don't know what we'd do. And so reaching out to the community, it's important, because actually at the end of last year's, I had made an announcement to our veterans that this could be the last year, because nobody is helping up until the night of. And so it just takes like 2 of us. and grandkids to get it together. And so they were really upset and disappointed about that. Afterwards, several come up and said, is it the money? Do we need to, help pay for it? And I said, no, it's not the money, it's the servers. We need people to help serve. So if you can help serve, come prepare the food, that would be a great asset to our military and serving them. So it takes a bunch to set up the tables, to break down the tables, to put our napkins on, all the glasses, the silverware. And there literally were about 5 of us who did it last year. So.
I love it. Every time I see troops in a restaurant or wherever, I don't care where they are. I rode back beside one on the plane ride from Illinois. I went to speak this past weekend. And I just felt it's such a privilege to sit beside a man who has served me in some capacity. And of course, it was interesting. He had his earbuds in and he was going to watch a movie, or he knows I think I would have talked him to death, but I just found it such a privilege. I shook his hand immediately and just said, thank you so much for our service. And he did not get to crank up his video for a while, his movie, because people were constantly coming by and thanking him. And I just thought, what a blessing that, yes, these people do love you. We appreciate our troops. We appreciate our veterans. And we appreciate, because, Millie, what I love about this is that you honor the families as well, because, there's a sacrifice on the part of the wives or the husbands left behind by our troops. And the children, they miss all kinds of history that goes on in and day out life. And so it's such a sacrifice on the part of the family, because dad or mom is away from them for so much of life, especially when they serve on foreign soil. And so it's a real sacrifice. And guys, I'm sorry, but we haven't always been kind to our troops, and especially our veterans. And I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see that now there's some attention being paid to our veterans. And we are straightening out some things for you guys.
The more the better. I mean, everybody put on an event for the veterans.
Absolutely. Don't let it, we do it in Corydon, but what are you doing, in Louisville and Shepherdsville and Scottsburg? I mean, do it for your area. Let them know that, their sacrifice does not go unnoticed and unappreciated, and it's not taken for granted. And so I would just encourage you to do that. But here it is, a salute to our veterans and families. Again, guys, if you have anyone who has served, we don't get, listen, people come from all over. It's not just an Indiana event. People come from Louisville, they come from E-Town, they all over the place.
They do.
And it's been worth it. I know the Master's Men sang at one of these. It's just thrilling. I'm telling you, it's just also thrilling. And I just love our troops, and again, I love what they do. But thank you so much, Millie, for what you do. It is a labor of love.
It is. It's a labor of love.
And God bless all of you who have served. We love you. We appreciate you. I'm Joyce Oglesby. Make sure that you come to this event. I would love to meet you there, and you can meet Millie. But I'll be back next time, same place, right here. And in the meantime, I'm in battle for his cause.